Hey, what's going on? It's Alex Alvern, and it's time for another anime review episode. Big news this season, Sword Art Online, Alicization, War of the Underworld, Part 2 is finally here. Wow, that was a mouthful. It felt like I was listing out all the titles of Khaleesi, Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains from Game of Thrones. It has been a long 6 months waiting for this show to return, but damn it, it's finally here, and that wait was worth it. This was definitely the right way to kick off this next season. We see lots of great action from existing goddess Asana / Stacy. We see 2 new goddesses as Shinon and Lifa make their appearances as Solus and Terraria, and we have your boy Bercoli take on the Dark God Vector. We have a pretty disturbing scene involving tentacles going all Harvey Weinstein on Lifa, revealing her assets. Pretty gross and definitely a bold way to kick off the season. So let's go ahead and dive right in. If the appearance of Stacy at the end of the last season wasn't enough, we now have yet another legendary goddess making an appearance in the world, driving the citizens of this realm absolutely crazy. Tisay and Roni are just absolutely shell-shocked, meeting 2 goddesses from the legends, not only in the middle of a war, but just in a matter of days. As Shinon makes her entrance, she asks to see Kirito and is even able to get a reaction from him. I think it's difficult to say what type of reaction this was, and maybe I translated it the wrong way, I'm not sure. But realistically, it should have been an awkward flinch the way I see it, since the dude's wife is right there, and even she hasn't given him that level of PDA in this part of the franchise yet. I get that, pecks on the cheek and this kind of behavior is totally fine and normal in many cultures, and maybe that's how it was supposed to come across. But let's just look at 3 factors here. 1, it was a pretty slow and affectionate peck, not the super quick one that we tend to see in day-to-day culture. 2, you have to remember that this is Japan that we're talking about here, where public displays of affection, like even holding hands and things of that nature, skew heavily towards the conservative side. And 3, we have to remember that this is the shy Shinon that we're talking about here. So I don't know, I might be overthinking it, but if the goal of the scene was just a friendly and sad reunion, then I think that there were some better ways to go about it. But then again, this series has never been known for its subtlety, and it's definitely doing something right, so I'm not gonna complain, I'm just nitpicking. It looks like the Solus Super account also has the power of flight, which is likely gonna be a huge help, especially considering how quickly they have to track down Vector and Alice, since it doesn't look like Bercoli is gonna be able to slow down Vector for very long. In addition to Shinon, we also have Lifa joining the fray in her goddess account, albeit she enters the world a bit out of the way. There were some pretty interesting parallels with how this was done and how Kirito landed in the middle of nowhere during the ALO arc, and I imagine that this duality was done on purpose. She starts off by meeting the leader of the orcs and acts pretty nice towards him, which catches him off guard because they're supposed to be on opposite sides, so he's still very suspicious of her. They agree to her plan to get taken in as a prisoner, which honestly seems to me just like a really dumb plan. At first I was like, okay, she's in a super account, she can break free of this measly rope anytime she wants, so it's kind of like just playing along as a prisoner. But it becomes very clear in literally the next 2 minutes that she can't even escape from the clutches of a mere side character. So who the hell knows, what she was thinking? It was a pretty bad idea. But, all's well that ends well. It's actually good that they got caught, because if she was taking a Vector, he could probably just suck up her power and abilities right there, making it a whole lot harder for a protagonist to win in the end. So this scene, where she gets captured is pretty slimy and gross. It was definitely a bold and polarizing move for the creators to animate. And if anybody was watching this tentacle scene with their parents, they'd probably be pretty uncomfortable. If you haven't seen the episode yet and you're gonna watch it with your parents, I recommend maybe don't. I wouldn't do that. We see an interesting evolution though that was eerily reminiscent of the Yu-Gi-Oh scene from the first season of Alicization, where the orc's eyeball just explodes as he defies orders from his superior and goes on to attack to try and save the human goddess. While I wasn't a huge fan of the Lifa assault scene, I very much enjoyed the scene at the ruins, where we got to see the return of Asana the Flash. We had a spectacular animation as always, and this is one of the main reasons why I just love the SAO franchise so much. We see her just savagely taking down the massive approaching horde, but it comes with some costs, right? I'm not sure if her admin account can be considered the best due to her power level, or the worst just due to the massive restrictions that it comes with. Also, it looks like Vassago is back from the grave as the mini-boss for the season as he creepily watches the battle from above. What I find so baffling about the SAO franchise though, as much as I love it, is things like this scene.
What the hell? This game is a rare attack. I'm soon below.
It's even though there's clearly a huge investment in production quality for the show, with some of the best battle scenes in anime, both in terms of effects but also choreography. So how in Stacy's name do they go so cheap in just not getting a more realistic sounding person to speak English? Like, they have to be doing this on purpose. That's the only thing that could explain this. It just has to be like a purposeful joke, because this guy just sounds absolutely ridiculous. They could have easily found a native speaker to say this one line in the show. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on with it. Turning to the Bercouli segment, this chase scene turns into this badass scene where Bercouli uses his, one of his incredible secret moves, allowing him to mess with time in some way or another, which lets him catch up and turn Vector's mount into Dragon Sushi. Rather than flying down and walking onto the platform to face Vector, Bercouli follows up his special attack by using a form of air stepping to slowly run his way down. Who needs flying when you can literally run on the air? I think that this episode made it clear that Bercouli could have easily killed Yu-Gi-Oh if he wanted to in the previous season, and it's a shame that the first time that we get to see him fight with actual 100% seriousness is when he's up against what is probably the final boss of the entire series, who's inside of his super account. Talk about a rigged matchup. The Vector super account is so overpowered that he brought a whole new meaning to disarming his opponent. Throughout the fight, Gabriel was learning more and more about how to get stronger in the underworld with his account, sucking up Bercouli's power and making him a seriously dangerous foe that only grows stronger with every battle that he goes through. We also get a surprise appearance from Klein at the end, which was refreshing to see, and maybe we'll see more of the crew start popping in typical SAO fashion. I'm sure there will be an inevitable appearance by Yui at some point, and I'm wondering what form or role she'll take in the underworld. Perhaps that of an imp, who knows. The ending song was pretty interesting as well, with the combination of the realistic 3D visuals and combined with the 2D animation. So it was pretty interesting to see, but I can't say that I enjoyed as much as the previous ending song of Unlasting by Lisa, which just sent chills down my spine during the ending scenes in the earlier Alicization seasons. In any case, this was an incredible way to kick off the season, and I just can't believe how much they were able to pack in just one episode. I'm sad that we're nearing the end of this incredible series, and I know that these next 10 weeks are gonna fly by as this show draws to a conclusion, but I know that I'm gonna enjoy every single moment of it. I'm curious to get your thoughts on what you think of the season opener. Please leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you like my content, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified of my future videos. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as I'll be posting exclusive content on those channels as well. And if you're looking for other great anime to watch this summer 2020 season, please check out my reviews on other amazing shows like God of High School, Re:Zero Season 2, and Decadence, as those are going to be the key other shows to watch this season. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks again for all the love. I'm Alex Alvern, and I'll see you in the next one.